What's up, guys? Steve here. Saturday night again. Got Matt in the house, as usual. And tonight we are putting the old A650E back into the Lexus. So this is going to be a pretty simple task. I think we'll probably have it done in about an hour or two. Should be pretty easy. We got our new PTC torque converter mounted in here. Of course, everything else is unchanged, unmolested on the transmission. It's just a stock unit. I think it's been replaced before. It's got like
some markings on
yellow writing on it, so it's probably already a junkyard trans, honestly. But it worked really well in the car before we did anything. So it had good shifts. We don't think, we're hoping it'll hold together for a while anyway, while we do what we do. So as for the schedule tonight, we are throwing the transmission in there, drive shaft, torque converter bolt starter, and once that's all done, that's all we're doing tonight.
Yeah, just taking it easy. We're gonna go race tomorrow, baby.
Yeah, baby. The plan is to get this out of the way, and then we're gonna go take the Z out for, actually it's first day of racing since we put this transmission in.
Newest transmission.
So I think we are now on our 7th transmission install in the car. Granted, not all of them were great transmissions. In fact, none of them were great. But
they've all done their duty.
We've only had
all done their duty.
We've only had 2 that were really rebuilt, so I don't want to be too hard on the jack coat. I really have a lot of faith in it. This one is just another junkyard that we had to swap some parts over. We're going to be making our first passes with it tomorrow at XRP, 8th Mile. So anyway, we're going to get this transmission topped off in here, and then we're going to be done for the night. Where's the other 17? I should have another 17. Fall down. I started all the ones I had. They were all up on that, they were all right here. Well, let me look again. Yeah, we are definitely missing a bolt out of the top. So we found the bolt. Matt had set it up here on the jack. Hi, Matt. And all right, transmission's bolted in. We can put our mounts back on. We probably want to keep it low while we get all the wiring in. We got to get the wiring all plugged in on it. Freedom! So if the torque converter is seated properly, you can just spin it loosely like this, and we're just going to line the hole up there and start a bolt by hand. But the trouble with installing torque converter bolts is if you just leave it there, so if you tighten that, when you spin around to the next bolt, it's not going to line up. It's like there's not enough bolts started for it all to be centered. If you leave it totally loose like it is, and you spin it around, then when you tighten up the next bolt, and it pulls the torque, it's going to pull the torque converter forward.
Oh, and it's going to back it up.
And then that bolt may be contacting the rear cover because it's sticking up too much. So what you want to do is run it down as far as you can, and then maybe like get pliers or something to try to pull the whole torque converter forward and snug it down some more. Okay. So that it's close to being where it's snug. And now just grab that bolt and try to just kind of pry against the case there. There you go, just like that. See how much slack there is now? And so now you can just run that down by hand, and then you can go ahead and move to the next bolt. Now you didn't put any Loctite on that bolt, so you're gonna have to take it back out anyway.
Okay.
I don't use Loctite very often, but I always use it on. This is one of the times I use it. Blue Loctite. Don't even bother getting red shit in there. I don't use red Loctite for anything ever.
Is red like higher strength?
It's higher strength, yeah.
Okay, so how much do I need? Just a dab? Dab will do you?
Yeah. Once you put a dab, it kind of spreads around the threads pretty well. That looks fine. That's fine. As long as there's a little bit.
Okay, so now that we have the torque converter seated correct, so we can crank over to the next one, right?
Yeah. So we're just going to go hand tight on the whole round, and there's 6 torque converter bolts in this. My bad. My goodness. All right, next one's ready.
the one in the lion's cage, sipping on lemonade. I'm a dream catcher, matchstick reactor.
This car's gonna be so stupid.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really awesome.
I mean, we're just doing the exact same thing we did on the Z, only faster all at once.
Yeah.
Like pretty much just all the same tricks.
All the 2 years that culminated into getting the Z to actually be fast is all happening all right now. Go ahead to the next one.
Only instead of an L28, a lethargic L28, we got a 2J Z.
We made some fucking stank with them.
Wait until you see what we do with this 2J, bro. Like,
it's gonna be nasty.
look at what we did with the L motor
That nobody thought was fast
that
at
no
all.
one thought was worth anything. Just think what we're gonna do with the GT internal 2J.
Yeah, well, I'm the new school.
It's gonna be lit, fam.
Lit,
boy.
All right, so the tranny is in the car now.
Oh, you dirty, dirty boy.
Oh, gosh. So, of course, we can't start it up and test it out, so here's hoping everything works. We're going to be finding out
Everything
later.
went in real smooth.
It all
felt good going back together.
went together good. We didn't have any leftover parts. And even
No
the
missing pieces. Yeah.
And even though the dipstick used to bolt to the stock manifold, it actually seemed to slip into place pretty well. So it seems to be in a happy place. And that's all we're doing this week. It's only 7 o'clock. We're calling it a night.
That's not all we're doing this week. That's all we're doing tonight.
Right. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys at the track tomorrow, baby. All right, baby. We are out here at XRP. We got the Z station set up. Matt's here. Our buddy Kobe came out here with his friend Olivia, and it's pretty empty so far. So it's looking like we are going to get to make plenty of passes today. We got a couple cameras mounted up in the Z, as well as I created a mount right there for put my cell phone so I get some draggy footage, and added a GoPro mount to my helmet. So we should have some new angles today. This is our first time with the Z, with this transmission. All I did was drive it to the end of the street and back. Felt to go through all the gears. It felt okay. Everything looks fine so far. Had a small fuel leak coming from one of the hoses. Just had to tighten up a clamp earlier. But other than that, everything is good to go. So we're just waiting for them to open up the stage lanes and sit in the shade. All right, baby, cameras are rolling. We got the draggy going. Hey, Matt, I'm gonna floor it. Hey, just try to go, listen, just try to go from the start to the finish as fast as you possibly can, okay? Yeah. Got it? All right. See how this tranny does, baby? It didn't feel great. Shit, I don't even have the laptop. We can't even get a data log. God dang it. Damn, I told myself we need the laptop. I had glasses too. I don't know where they went. Thank you. Alright, so that was a 7.3. Something weird happened between the 1 and 2. So, just gotta kind of see if the transmission's gonna act right today. That's really the big question. All right, so Matt's about to make his first pass. We did not have the laptop hooked up on the last one, so we do not know what happened at all.
Ran at 733 though.
Judging by the mile an hour, I think we were not making enough boost, as per usual. We already got a T in that thing. I guess we could throw another one in it if we feel the need, but I think it's got enough to run a 6, just like it sits. Did feel a little funny on the 1-2 shift, so we'll wait and see how that plays out on this next pass, but that's really our only option now. Is we cooled her down, threw some ice on the intake for about 10 minutes, and now we're gonna get back in line. Should be able to make lots of passes tonight. Didn't find third. Thank you. I let off, it didn't find third. Which is weird, because Steve said on his first run, the 1-2 shift felt weird, which felt a little slow on that run I just made right there, but the 2-3 shift, it just didn't even find third. Alright, so we were having some trouble with the laptop after the last pass. I could not get into our data log. So anyway, figured it out, got the mouse working, and now I'm gonna look at the data log from the last pass. It does sound like we have more transmission woes. Matt said it didn't find third gear. And when I went, it felt funny on the 1-2 shift, but it found third gear fine. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm gonna take a look at the data log and see if I can see anything funny. As long as everything's safe, I'm gonna go ahead and send it again and see if we get better results on the next pass. So about 19 PSI right here. So like most of the pass, we were seeing between 17.5 and 19. So everything's safe. We're gonna go ahead and send it again, see if the transmission's gonna get better or worse. We'll see. We really got nothing to lose at this point. I mean, the engine's safe and happy, so we'll see what it'll do. Yeah, we got no second gear at all. There's no second gear. We definitely, I slipped it in a second and it just, second never happened. It just sat on the limiter. Yeah, that was not good. Oh, actually it was not an 8.5, it was another 7.3. Honestly, pretty badass. 151 60 foot. Whoa, hold up. Hold up. We just ran a 151 60 foot and ran a 7.3 with no second gear. I mean, just never found second. 85 miles an hour and still ran a 7.3. She was making some steam. Hey, dude, she was making power, but there was no second, and you need second. So there's mostly just a bunch of like pretty stock Chargers and Challengers and Camaros here. I think our main problem is we're making too much power for the training in its current state. So I'm gonna try just turning the boost way down and see if we can make some clean A to B passes and find all the gears on like 14 pounds. And that should be enough to smoke the shit out of these guys. And maybe that'll be slow enough or low enough power levels that the transmission will find second. Just try to have some fun. It's still pretty early. I don't really want to call it a night. 6.0 GTO. Can't say what he's got done to it. Sounds like it's got a cam. It's got some proper rubber on it. And Matt just made that pass. He's circling right back around. We're gonna hot lap it. The transmission seemed to work better, so we're hoping for the best. But we just want, this will be our first time racing anyone in 4 passes. We've been making solo passes all night. And now all these like Chargers and Challengers and pony cars are here. So we're hoping to just put up, like find some competition. To smoke this ZL1 that's right here in front of us. It's a pretty little car for sure, with a lot of horsepower and a paper plate on it. I wonder if he's ready to lose it to the Z. I asked him if he's ready before he Let's race for pinks. Let's race for pinks. Up against the ZL1 Camaro, baby. So I think that's going to end our night there. The ZL1 got us, got him out of the hole, and then he just reeled us in because the 1-2 shift didn't really happen. Never really felt like it was fully in second gear. It feels like it's slipping all the way to red line in second. And then by the time I found third, it was too late. He was already gone. But the car's not really handling the power very well. So we're going to call it a night. It's a fun night of racing. We've made a bunch of passes on the car, and we got to beat at least one guy, maybe two. We got to beat 2 guys. So I think that's going to do it for us for tonight. But until next week, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.